I always say that if my coffee doesn't wake me up, that song will wake me up. You're on mute, Malar.
Good morning, Singapore.
Morning, Malaysia. Okay.
Mm.
No, I'm going to just say good morning, my friend. Okay. All right.
I was going to say, since Malaysia and Singapore has got together, finally we bring in Indonesia today, is what I was thinking.
Yes, that's a good way of saying it. Yeah. Okay. The ones that fight for the badminton championships, at some point in time, soccer, football. Okay. Yeah. So, who's our guest today?
Ah, your favorite, my favorite, everybody's favorite by now. He's become famous in the last 1 week because
Yeah.
you've been playing his video clips on what does it mean to actually really champion well-being while
Mm.
also ensuring optimal performance is actually achieved. And I think that's the balance that we all struggle with, right? And it's been wonderful to hear. I mean, we've watched Adi do this at work, which is why we are very privileged to have him. So, Sham, do the necessary and bring Adi.
Okay, I have to say, I'm biased. Okay,
Okay.
I'm biased lah. Not just to Adi, but to PwC Indonesia as well. Right. Yeah, I thought I could brag that I have been there and working with PwC longer than Adi, but then I saw his CV and he beat me by 3 years. Okay. Anyway, so who's our guest today? Our guest today is Adi Pratikto, who is partner in PwC Indonesia, as well as double barrel. This one is like two whammies together: partner plus human capital director. Okay. So we're going to bring him on, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Okay.
Yay. Welcome, Pak Adi. Yes.
Ha, Pak Adi. Good morning.
Hi, Sharm. Hi, Malar. Good morning. Good morning, my friends in Singapore, in Malaysia, and in Indonesia.
Ooh, okay. I was just telling Malar, I thought I can compete with you and tell you that I won a number of years working with PwC. You from the inside, me from the outside. But I have to say that you win it hands down because you 23 years, me 20 years.
Oh, okay. Yay.
So Malar, Adi has been with PwC for 23 years now. I thought I would have recognized him through the hallways, but I'm surprised to say that I have not seen him as frequently as I see many of the other PwCers when we are in the office. That's probably just, we were just aligned to meet at this point in time, last year when he took on the mantle of human capital director. So he's a partner as well in PwC, and he looks after foreign investments advisory, right? But the thing that blew us away, Malar, was that closing session.
Yeah.
Of course, he blew us away, but there were a few other sessions that we met Adi beforehand, but that closing session, which we cut up into clips and put on LinkedIn last week and told everybody about Adi, and why we were so impressed with it. So we thought, and that's the reason why we thought, we're going to get Adi on our show and
Yeah.
dig his head and heart, and find out what makes him so special. Right, so special. All right, so Adi, I'm going to ask you the
Yes.
first
Uh,
question. Okay,
uh,
has there been a time that you've never been as cool cucumber that we've always seen?
I'm so glad the question is coming from you and not from me. Now you know who's naughty.
wow, wow. Well, I guess first of all, thanks for inviting me, yeah, to
You're
this
most welcome.
session. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good session, hopefully.
Mm,
And responding to your question, well, I have to be honest that from time to time, yeah, depending on the situations, yeah. Of course, I am not always as cool as you know me, right? So yeah. But most of the people that I know, I think they also told me that I'm quite calm, right,
mm,
in facing difficult situations. Yeah. So that's always also a brand that I would like other people to know me, like a
mm,
calm person. Yeah.
mm. So you walk the talk.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hopefully,
so
hopefully.
okay, so tell me one situation where you have not been so walking the talking.
In most cases, if I face client complaints and deadline, that's the
Okay.
yeah, that's the situations that I'm not as calm as I usually or used to
Mm,
be.
mm. And I think I can understand a bit of that because it's clients are why we exist in a certain in a way, right, in our
That's true.
role as what we are doing, you as your as partner in PwC, and
That's true.
they
That's true.
make us that they made us in that role, or they put us in that role, right? So I can understand that because I kind of get a little bit of that when I have clients
Yeah,
come
yeah,
to me
yeah, yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Because
Yeah.
because I think it's important to show that I'm a human, right? I'm a
Mm,
human as
mm,
well, and I need to also get the understanding from my team that in some situations we need to be, acting quickly, and not all the time we need to act, calmly, right? So
mm,
that's what I want to show as well. That
mm.
I'm a human being, yeah.
Mm, true. Okay, so Mala, I asked the question that you didn't think that I would ask, right? Okay, go ask the next question.
I'm just curious. I'm even more curious now because Sham started. So when you are calm on the outside, which is what we experience of you, right? Are you really always calm on the inside?
Um, well, not always the case, of course, yeah. But I think this is probably also because of the 23 years of experience that I have with PwC, right?
Mm,
So this 20 years experience has been teaching me, right, on what is the best approach that I think, yeah, to especially to face or to resolve difficult situations. And I find out that if you as the leaders also acting quite calm, yeah, in difficult situations, that will also create like a supportive environment to your
Mm,
team, right? Because they think that, okay, my leaders, he's calm in handling the situations. So that's already giving like a working environment, yeah, that supportive to your team, and
right.
your team also believe that I can go to my leader anytime, yeah,
Mm,
to to talk with, yeah, to resolve my challenge, to resolve my problems, yeah, because he's calm in every situation. So that's I think the supportive working environment that I would like to also create, yeah, by showing this, yeah, to my team.
Nice, nice, nice. In fact, you're absolutely right because there are research, there's enough research, number one, to say that people are regulated. There's something called co regulation, is a word that we use, right? And you're
Mm.
absolutely right because they're looking to the leader to say, if he stays calm under this situation, I'm okay. And you
Yep.
also
Mm.
provide psychological safety because people feel that one of the common things that we experience in usually team building programs is that when you talk about building trust or being open, or how do you just go and talk to your leader, um, in this part of the world we say we will check the weather. We do
Mm.
ask
Mm,
on
yeah,
the
Angin.
yeah.
yeah. So, like, is the cloud dark or is it going to storm and stuff like that? Because what people do unconsciously, we check in with our leaders' state to know
Yeah.
whether we feel safe enough to talk about things. And that is essential because when you have people coming to you and they feel safe, chances of them telling you things as is a lot more higher. And then
Mhm.
it gives you the ability, the information that you need to really handle this, right? And I'm very
Yeah.
curious, right? Because one of those things that, because I was meeting, I can't brag, I said to say I know PwC for so many years, but the first time, firstly, I'm absolutely in love with people in Indonesia, right? I have to say that because they're like so wonderful. And one thing that I was really taken aback when, and I told Sham this, is that I had a consistent positive experience when with working with your firm, with everybody, right? Everybody was very consistently positive, committed to whatever they were doing. So I think there was that one particular consistency. But what blew my mind is, you know, um, is the fact that you are so fiercely passionate about well-being,
Mm.
Mm.
right? Right. I'll say you're fiercely passionate, not just passionate, because I saw that coming through over and over again in the way you were making choices and decision, right? To say that, look here, people, I want you to focus on your well-being, right? Now, how did this well-being, when did well-being become an important factor for you as a leader, Buddy?
Yeah, I don't think it was when you took on HC. I think it was before that, right? But yeah, tell us, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think uh, during this pandemic, yes, right, well-being become one of the most challenging issue, right, for
Mm.
us. Yeah, but if we go back to the era before pandemic, yeah, actually, it's a classical issue in our industry. Yeah, because
Mm.
in a big four firm, right, we are required to work long hours, right? We are
Mm,
required to
Mm.
work on multiple tasks, right?
Mm.
So in the era before pandemic, yeah, even well-being has becoming an issue, yeah, and it's becoming worsen because of the pandemic. So if we are talking about when I start to focus on well-being, yeah, I start to focus on well-being right after I joined PwC, yeah, because that's the time
mm,
when I face all of these situations, working long hours, having to work on multiple tasks, multiple clients, yeah, and I need to juggling between work and life, yeah. So that's
Mm.
already in our day-to-day situations,
Mm.
and that's why to me well-being is an ongoing issue and always be an issue, yeah, in the industry. It's just the level of focus that you will need to put into this issue, yeah, from time to time. At this
Mm.
moment becoming a greater issue compared to in the past, so then you need to put more focus on well-being compared to in the past. Now
Mm.
you cannot just put a regular actions, right, to address well-being issue, yeah,
Mm. Mm.
compared to in the past. So you need to find out new ways, you need to
mm,
find out new actions, new programs to overcoming the new areas in the well-being aspect. So that's why I think because I used to deal with this issue since the beginning. So when I become a human capital leader, this is always also one of the issue that we have to focus on. Yeah, because we do have a jargon, yeah, at PwC: be well, work well. So this is always becoming our principles. Yeah, you need to not only work well, but you need to also be well. So in our mindset, yeah, well-being is always become one of the issue that we need to address anytime, every time. Yeah, so it's already our mindset in our day-to-day life. Yeah.
So if I were to, so as you said, since the start of your journey in the firm, you've been keeping well-being in mind, right? And I'm going to assume that you did not start as a partner,
Yeah.
right? And you worked through the ranks, right? So for someone who is in a junior position and when you first started, right? And how did you reconcile my need for well-being and looking after myself, self-care, and hey, it's the nature of firms to it's competitive,
Yeah.
right? It's competitive. Not everybody becomes partner, right? We know that it's the nature of it, right? It's survival of the fittest, who moves up slowly but surely, but you're moving up. So how do you reconcile that internally and say, okay, I have a career goal. I have something I have in mind, and then there's me that I need to take care. What were the struggles? How did you reconcile? I mean, just within yourself, your family, and also your manager and your leaders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think I start with what is my career goal. Yeah, that point work as a start. Yeah,
Mm.
because you know what you want to achieve first before you plan how you want to achieve that, right? So if I use the term that I learned in one of a book. Yeah, so you need to start or you need to begin with the end of mind. Right?
Mm.
What
Mm.
do you want to achieve first? Yeah, and
Mm.
then you start planning. Yeah, on how and when and how long you want to achieve that goals. Yeah, and one of the plan that I will need to also put, yeah, in that is how am I going to take care my well-being while achieving that career goal, yeah.
Mm.
So that's also something that I always discuss with the team. Yeah, start with
Mm.
the end of mind. What do you want to achieve, and then
Mm.
how that will affect your well-being.
Mm.
When, how long you want to achieve that career goal. Yeah, because I do it myself
Mm.
when I start from the junior.
Mm.
Now the thing is, sometimes people think that well-being and career is a trade-off, right? You cannot have both. Yeah, it's
Mm.
either career or it's either well-being. Yeah,
You
and
read my mind. I was going to ask you the follow-up question. What's the trade-off?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's not always the case. Yeah,
Mm.
because people can have a good career while maintaining a good well-being, and the other way around. Yeah,
Mm.
that's also what I learned from other leaders. Yeah, and one of the thing that I did when I was junior is you need to know when you need to pull the gas and when you need to hit the brakes. Yeah,
Mm.
you
Mm.
cannot always pull the gas. Sometimes you need to hit the brakes because you need to focus on well-being. Yeah,
Mm.
but when you think that you are already in optimum well-being, then it's the time for you to push the gas.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
but if you feel not happy, not comfortable, you need to focus on mental well-being. You need to focus on physical well-being. Then hit the brakes. Yeah, you need to understand yourself, what you think, um, um, how you feel happy, how you feel healthy. Yeah, you need to firstly also understand yourself. When you think that you are in a happy state, when you think you are in a healthy situations, yeah. So that's the goal that you need to achieve. So if you need to hit the brakes, hit the brakes. Focus on well-being for some times. If you already achieve that, then push again the gas. Yeah, chase your career. Yeah. Um, so understanding yourself, understanding your goal, knows when to push the gas, when to hit the brakes. Yeah, I think that probably works for me during my 23 years career at PwC. Yeah, uh, you have to also realize sometimes that you cannot. Of course, if you can, it's good to achieve all the goals that you have. Yeah, but if you cannot achieve some of the goals, it's fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. So you have to also, to me, having that mindset, yeah, that you may not be able to achieve all your goals, but if you can achieve some or most of them, it's already fine, it's already good. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Malar, I think if we do a flow profiler assessment on Adi, we're going to get a lot of sevens, and we say this man is so self-aware and self-regulated. He knows when to overuse and when to go into
Yeah.
flow. Amazingly spot on, intuitively or through experience. Amazing.
That's true.
Malar.
That's
Yeah.
Funny. One of those things that I recognized about you from what you said, right? I was trying to pick up. Would it be fair for me to assume that you're known to be an empathetic leader? That means you have a lot of empathy for people, I think, because I liked what you said as to you looked at your own difficulty and experience when you first started. And you seem to have resolved your own internal conflicts as you go along, which you very nicely said, know yourself, know your stage, know when you're happy, know what takes away your happiness and your well-being. So, I mean, and that's part of knowing yourself, right? And what you seem to have done is that you've taken your own pains and turned them into your empathy for other people, knowing because I've been through this, I know other people will also walk this journey,
Yeah.
right? and,
Yeah.
and I think that's always the trait of a great leader, because you've walked before a lot of people, which is why you're leading, you're able to clear the path better for them, right? And we all know empathy is not only a very important trait of a great leader, but I want to throw this to you, but I think empathy can also be very painful for the leader,
Yeah.
right? Because you feel so much for, you know, what's coming for the other person, and you have a need to have regards for them or protect them or look after them, right?
Yeah.
Now, so whenever you put on, and I think that's you, when you're empathetic, what are some internal conflicts that you experience? You know, being the leader that the firm requires you to be,
Yeah.
and be the people person that people expect you to be.
Yeah.
Because now it becomes me versus the people, right?
People. Yep.
You know, my own effectiveness versus my passion for people. So I think this is a common struggle even in personal relationship,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about it if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's that. I think it's always be a challenge for me. Yeah, balancing between business needs and people needs, right? And I again, I start with how do I understand myself? Yeah, and I feel that I am the tendency. Yeah, if is I am more of a people person. Yeah, so that's why in my decision I also fully understand that in many cases, yeah, I tend to put people perspective from the people side more than a business perspective. Yeah, so the way I balance that, first of all, is because I know that I am more of a people person. Yeah, and I'm grateful that I have many other partners, yeah, within the firm, yeah, with different character, with different leadership style. Yeah,
Mm.
I also try to discuss, yeah, with other leaders, yeah, with more tendency as a business person. Yeah,
Mm. Mm.
so that way, yeah, if I make decision, yeah, if I want to do certain action, then I can also gain more insight from business perspective from the other leaders as additional considerations. So then my decisions can be more balanced, yeah, between business need and people need. Yeah, because I know exactly that if I decide myself, yeah, there is a tendency that it's more to be a people perspective, heavy in people perspective rather than business perspective. I need to
Mm.
find someone to balance my perspective. So that's number one. Yeah. So
Mm.
having discussions with other leaders with has different style, with who has different leadership approach,
Mm.
I think it's good. Yeah,
Mm.
for me to really balance between business and people. Yeah.
Mm.
The second thing is yes, you have to you have to put empathy, yeah, when you interact with your team, yeah, interact with your staff, yeah. But the most important thing is we need to really understand what is best for them, yeah,
Mm.
how they can achieve the best of themselves, yeah, uh, rather than putting the focus on empathy. Yeah, because if you put all conversations to empathy, then probably you cannot find what is best for him, for her, what is best for themselves. So
Mm.
focus on that, yeah, while still putting your empathy, yeah, and by focusing on what is best for them, yeah, and I think you can have more greater result, yeah, rather than just put empathy, yeah, on their situations. So that's the second one. The
Mm.
third one for me is uh, uh, I, I hear a lot. Learn from your mistake, right? Learn from your mistake. Yeah. But what I usually share with my team is, you have to learn from my mistake. Yeah.
Mm.
Don't, as much as possible, don't learn from your mistake. Yeah. Because I already in this industry for more than 20 years. I do many mistakes. I learn from many mistakes. Yeah. So I also let my team to learn from my mistake. Yeah. It's good to share that uh, I did also mistakes in the past, and I learned from that mistake, and that's what bring me to my positions now. Yeah.
Mm.
So it I think it will be less painful for my team to work to learn from my mistake rather than to learn from their own mistake, right? Because their own mistake will eventually also bring problems to me, right? Yeah.
I
So so
love
that's also I put my empathy to the team. Yeah, learn from
Nice.
my mistake. I do a lot of mistake. Learn from it. Yeah, so you
Mm.
can be a better person without experiencing the mistake yourself. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Sorry, Sham, I do have a follow-up question because
I
it's
know
like,
you do. Yeah,
right.
but no, I'm just absorbing. My brain has not gone to questions yet.
Yeah. But before
Go.
that, we have one person who has commented. That's Regina Morris, right?
Yeah.
And she says Adi is eloquent and his clarity is evidence of his practicing well-being first. So that's Regina Morris listening into you at 8 o'clock in the morning and having taken something
Thanks,
beyond
Regina.
Mm.
beyond the golden nuggets that you've actually given us. Now, I'm very curious about empathy because what I liked about what you said is that, so two things that I picked up and I just want to, learn a bit more from you. Number one, I like the fact that you said that, you use empathy and you sort of, so what I'm getting from you is you use empathy to get to understand what the other person is experiencing through your own experience as well, right? From the past. So you use empathy. But what you're saying is that you don't get stuck with that. You use that information and say, okay, now that I know how you're feeling, I'm also going to think about, as a leader, because I've walked ahead of you, I'm going to think about how can I use this information to help bring your best. That's what you seem to be thinking. And for me, what comes to my mind is actually, you're very clear about your choices and decision making. That while I understand you, I will not use my understanding to bring us backward. But as a leader, I'm going to use this empathy to bring us forward, right? That's what I'm getting, which I think is fantastic, because very often we get carried away with what I feel and what the other person feels, and we don't move that forward. And I think that's really the make of a great emotionally intelligent leader, right? Using the emotion and using the understanding to move us forward, right? Compared to where I would have gone on my own, right? But when you do this, right, have you ever felt that you have been misunderstood? Sometimes how leaders can see better than, because sometimes because you're bringing in empathy and your decision making now, and that person is not ready. Very often the criticism is, I don't think he gets it. You see, he's still pushing me despite knowing what I'm going through. He's still pushing me, right? And that criticism comes through. Have you
Yeah.
experienced that? And how do you deal with it? One, for yourself to be clear
Mm.
on your purpose. Number two, how do you use that to communicate to the person who may have misunderstood?
Yeah. 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 I think that happens quite often. Yeah. To be honest. Yeah. And uh, to me, um, when I communicate with my team, yeah, uh, what is what one of a natural factors, yeah, when I do conversations with the team is what's in it for them, yeah. So they need to
Mm.
understand what's in it for them, yeah. So when I try to also bring in my perspective to their situations, yeah, I I try to also put what's in it for them if like they consider my perspective, yeah. What's the benefit for them, yeah. In some situations it can create push to the team, to the
Mm.
staff.
Mm.
And in some situations, they need to move from their comfort zone. Yeah. And then the conversations move to whether you want to achieve this, what's in it for them. Yeah. Whether you think that it's good for them to achieve this. Yeah. If not, yeah, then why you think that it's not good for them to achieve this, yeah.
Mm.
So this kind of honest conversation should happen, yeah, because I think in many situations we can also come across to a conclusions that okay, this team member actually does not really fit to our situations right now. Yeah, so
Mm.
probably it's better for them to consider, other career path, other goals, yeah, which is best for them. So I think these conversations also come into place, yeah, rather than forcing or pushing someone. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really make him happy. It doesn't really make him or her feels that this is the goals that I want to achieve. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's what usually I think happen in my conversations with the team. Yeah. Sometimes I will need to let go. Yeah.
Mm.
After the conversations. Yeah.
Mm.
If I feel that okay, the staff will not be happy, he will not be comfortable, yeah, the route, yeah, that we prepare, yeah. So that's okay, yeah, that's okay, because what matters it is how to bring the best of this person. If not in the firm, yeah, then probably in any other place, yeah. So
Mm.
that's, I think, what usually happen in my conversations with the team. Yes, you can always put your perspective. Yeah, it's good if they can also understand what's in it for them and they want to chase that. Yeah, but that's probably not always the situations, and you have to just accept if that is not the situations. Yeah, and find the best way for both, for the firm and also for the people, right?
Mm.
So
Nice,
that's
nice.
probably for the first questions. The second questions was it? What is it?
I wanted to say you've nicely connected it to why it's important for us as a leader
Hmm.
to stay aligned with our purpose as a leader, but also connect the purpose for the individual so that we are both aligned,
Yeah.
right? So I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And the second part that I love about what you said is that I think an extraordinary leader does not only try to bring out the best in people. It's not just how you contribute to the organization. Perhaps your best may not actually be within the context or the purpose of the organization. And what I liked about what you said is to stay open to say that, you know what, this is about bringing the best of you to life, and hopefully if it is within the organization we'll both benefit. I just loved that. I think you've answered both question in the sense that
Hmm.
because
Yes.
I
Yeah.
asked
I
you,
got a follow up. I want to
yeah,
ask.
1 minute, right? So I
No, no,
like
no. 1 minute. Not 1 minute. I said I'm going to follow up with the question. Oh, sorry.
so
Carry on.
yeah, so I like the part that you reconciled your own purpose as a leader and you connected with the individuals. What is it in for me? And I think in that way, I think the your major bridge seems to be, and your major strength seem to be, consistently having the communication so that we are on the same page. We reconcile on the same page. And I believe that, because people have a good relationship with you from the beginning, you have rapport with them, people are able to tell you what they feel or you sense what they feel. And I think you come across someone who addresses anything that comes up, because you also said about acceptance, which means that people know that, I can go up to Pa Adi and it's okay if he disagrees with me because his level of acceptance, right? And to stay calm. So you answered, two questions brilliantly. In fact, you gave us more than two answers. And I know Sham is dying to ask you the next
Yeah, yeah,
question.
yes, 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 yes.
Thank you, buddy.
Uh, my question is, I was listening to you, Buddy, is, and I'm imagining putting myself in the shoes of other leaders, right? Isn't it tiring? Isn't it tiring having to have, balance, not balancing, but managing conversations, managing the people, managing, all the things that you have to manage? Isn't it tiring?
Uh, I have to say yes, yeah, but I think the personal satisfaction,
Hmm.
the understanding that the impact, the positive impact that I can give to other people, to my staff, to their
Hmm.
families, yeah,
Hmm.
that really offset, that really override all the tiring that I have, yeah, handling people matters. So that's why I also try to have myself focus more on the impact that I can give to other people. Yeah,
Hmm.
because that's I think can offset all the tiring, all the headache, all the stress, yeah, that I have in handling
Hmm.
people. But when someone uh, come to you, yeah, and they appreciate what I do, what I did, and they tell me story that they feel good, they feel better. Their family also been taken care well because they have been working for me. That's really, really, offsetting all of those stressful
Mm,
situations, the headache. Yeah. So that's basically what I do. Yeah.
mm, mm. Wow. Wow. I'm just thinking if you haven't already experienced it, I'm sure you're going to be experiencing it very soon or very often and very often. Um, you're having a meal somewhere or in a shopping mall somewhere, and someone comes up to you and says, "Pa, you recognize me?" Ka?" Pa, I used,
Yeah.
yeah, then,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
who's no longer
Even
in the firm. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
even when someone leave my team, yeah, and they are moving to upper level in other companies. I
Mm,
know that that's a result of development that I do for him, right?
mm,
Of course, I'm sad that I'm losing one of my team member, but
yep.
again, I try to find the positive side of it. Yeah, he
Mm,
has a better position. Yeah, probably a better career. Yeah, a better reward. Yeah, and it won't happen if I didn't develop him well,
mm,
right? Yeah.
yep. Yep. Oh, wow.
Wow.
I
So
got
I'm
tears in my eyes. Okay. All right, you ask the next question.
Cheryl says hello, Pa. Cheryl asked me
Hai
now.
Pak Syahrul.
Mm,
Cheryl, I'm very curious to know, right? Do you have, like, when you wake up in the morning? Because I think your, whether it's experience with you or in this short conversation, you have a lot of clarity about your purpose, about your vocation as a leader and your legacy as a leader. That's what I'm hearing. They're all coming together. They seem to be the same thing: your purpose, your vocation, and your legacy. You know how you want to leave imprints in people's heart. You talk about impact, right? You know how you want to, and not just as a person, right? Not just as a person, Pak Adi, but that this Pak Adi at an individual level seems to be the same
mm,
Pak Adi as a leader, and it's
mm,
the same Pak Adi everywhere. So you seem to be very, you are like one person now, right? Because sometimes people have different faces for different roles, right?
yep.
And that's I don't know how they do it, but you are consistently, look here, I know what's my impact. I know this is how I'm going to live my life, and that
Hmm.
seems to bring you back when you're stressed. That seems to bring you back when you have headache. So if there is a legacy statement that you have in your head, or impact statement or purpose statement, what does Pak Adi stand for in terms of the legacy he leaves, the purpose he lives in life generally?
Ah, ah. Well, that's a very difficult questions, yeah. Because I do things probably unconsciously, just
Mm,
let it
mm,
go with the flow, yeah. But
mm,
but but to me, well, probably if I should answer that questions, uh, giving positive impact to others, yeah. That's
Nice.
my statement of purpose, yeah.
mm, mm,
Nice,
mm,
nice. Well, I must say, Pak Adi, I think what I'm taking from you is this, right? There are people or leaders who say out loud that this is my purpose, but don't live it.
Hmm.
And there are wonderful people like you who say, actually, I've never thought about it, but people are experiencing your purpose, your legacy, and the impact that you're creating very, very consistently. From all the stories that we have seen, we have heard, and now what we are hearing now on screen, right? And I think it's so important because you say it's unconscious, which is why I think it is more consistent and congruent, right? While
mm,
both is important, because it's unconscious, that means you breathe it, you live it. You're not talking, you may not be talking about it, but you're walking what you believe in, which is why I think we see your clarity and calmness coming through the storm, right? Because your calmness on the outside, even though there's a storm on the inside, you're not worried because you are very focused on how do I leave people in a better state all the time, right?
Mm.
And that's your focus. And that focus is beyond your role as a leader. That focus is very much about who you are, what you believe in, how you live your values, which I think you said very nicely about having clarity, self awareness, clarity of you as a person, putting yourself in a positive state all the time and living it, right?
Mm.
And also knowing that in all of that space, it's okay to challenge people because that is the amazing role of a leader to
Mhm. Yeah,
challenge.
that's
I also really love the fact that you know your bias. I love leaders who acknowledge their bias because a lot of leaders now are claiming to be unbiased. Right? I'm for biasness because you need someone to advocate for something.
Someone, yeah, or something, yeah, right.
You're
And
unbiased.
I think biasness is a natural part of being, right?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
I don't know how not to be biased. I like people who are biased like me, right? I love about what you're saying. No, because I'm imagining if the whole world becomes unbiased, then what happens? Oh my gosh, it's such a boring place, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, sometimes elevation of life needs to happen because we need to be biased towards a cause,
Mm.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you are biased towards a cause of humanity, which is people, which I think please stay that way. And what I
Oh,
really loved, is
what is
that
it?
while you know your biasness, you are now reaching out to the opposite to say, help me balance out, help me think about the path I don't walk in my head so that I make sure the impact I leave, even though I'm biased, is still positive to the people and to the firm. So there was just so many great nuggets that
Yep.
we've taken. Now we know why you're known as the people leader, rightly so. And I also understand now why it is really really important that we put the right people who are biased towards
yeah,
the function,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Able
yeah,
to carry the flag with pride to say I am a people leader and I will be biased towards my people, and you know what, it doesn't matter. I think it
yeah,
shows me also for me how the firm operates and how they put in people who have a particular strength to advocate for what the role is. And
yeah.
I want to really really thank you for saying yes to us
Yes.
at 8 o'clock our time, 7 o'clock your time.
Your
Thanks
time,
as
yes.
well.
Another mark of a great leader. I want to just thank you for that too, for being an early riser, keeping on time, and being so humble all throughout and consistently very, very vulnerable and down to earth. Adi, thank you so much. I'm going to pass it on to Sham because she's going to tell me, Malar, I think you're talking more than Adi, which is true. Okay, I'm Sham.
Yeah, Mala has said thank you. I'm just going to
Thank
add to
you.
that. Thank you,
Thank you very
Adi.
much, Malar, for this good sessions. Hopefully, this can be, useful for anyone who see this. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
It will
Thank
be, it will be, it
It
will
will
be,
be. I
it
think
will.
it's a message that people are ready for, and it's a message that is timely as well. So thank you for sharing, helping us share that with the world. Thank you, Padi.
Thank you
Thank
very much,
Thank
Sharon
you.
Malar. Okay, see you again.
Right.
Thank you, everyone.
Right. Well,
you. Thank you.
okay.
We're back again. So,
Yes.
people, if you had joined us, thank you very much. We had just listened to Padi with his golden nuggets. If you want to know how to make a great impact in a calm way and how to stay calm in a storm, if you have not listening to Padi again, the recording will be available. This is Malar from Hearts and Minds signing off now, feeling really, really inspired. And I'm going to try and stay calm today, Sham. And
Now, okay. Good for you to stay calm. And for those of you who, you came in the last minute or you missed the first half or some parts of it, go watch that video. All right. It's well worth that time. Actually, you know what I regret about this interview? We could have we didn't have an opportunity, or I didn't think of shaking that calmness. Let me see what that shakes.
You know
Adi's
what, Sham?
calmness.
I'm actually glad you didn't do it because I think you would have failed miserably.
Yeah, I know. That's what.
So I'm
That's
so glad
probably
you
my
did.
internal saying, "Don't bother. It's not gonna happen."
Yeah. So we don't we,
All right.
we don't do it when we know we can't bring that up. So like it was not worth the battle. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
That's
good
true.
that you thought about it. So with that, we will
With
see you
that,
again.
have a good morning, and we'll see you next week. Bye, bye, everyone.
Bye.